Good day everyone! So today, we're going to discuss the hypothesis testing, specifically focusing on type 1 and type 2 error. These concepts are important in statistics because they help us understand the possible mistakes that can happen when we make a decision based on data. Before we discuss, my name is Vincent Pasco and my partner is...
My name is Charles Harvey P. Susonto.
First, let us understand what hypothesis testing is. Hypothesis testing is a statistical method used to make a decision or conclusion based on sample data. In this process, there are two hypotheses,
which is the null hypothesis, which states that there is no effect or no difference, and the alternative hypothesis, which states that there is an effect or difference. Since we only use a sample data and not the entire population, errors can sometimes occur. These mistakes are called type 1 error and type 2 error.
For furthermore explanation, keep on watching.
A type 1 error occurs when the null hypothesis is actually true, but we reject it. In simple terms, this means we conclude that there is an effect or difference when in reality there is none. It is also known as a false positive. The probability of committing a type 1 error is represented by alpha, usually set at 0.05 in many studies.
On the other hand, a type 2 error happens when the null hypothesis is false, but we fail to reject it. This means we fail to detect an effect or difference that actually exists. This is also called false negative. The error probability of committing a type 2 error is represented by beta. Based on these two graphs, which is type 1 and type 2 error, if the null hypothesis is true and accepted, or if it is false and rejected, the decision is correct. And if the null hypothesis is true and rejected, the decision is incorrect. And this is type 1 error. And last, if the null hypothesis is false and accepted, the decision is incorrect. And this is type 2 error.
The normal curve that shows the critical region is called the alpha region, and it is a type 1 error, while the normal curve that shows the acceptance region is called the beta region, and it is a type 2 error.
Here, we have three examples on identifying the type 1 and type 2 error. For example 1, Maria insists that she is 30 years old when in fact she is 32 years old. What error is Mary committing? For this problem, we have the answer of type 1 error because she rejects the truth, in fact, that she is 32 years old.
So this is our second example about identifying type 1 and type 2 error. So sample 2, Stephen says that he is not bald. His hairline just receding. Is he committing an error? So our answer is type 1 error. It is a type 1 error because Stephen rejects the truth that he is not bald. Yet the truth is his hairline is moving backward. So our answer is type 1 error.
So lastly, we have the example 3. So a man plans to go hunting in the Philippine monkey and eagle, believing that it is a proof of his method. What type error? So the type error we use is the type 2 error because in the sentence, the man believes it is a proof of memory. If it is in reality, hunting the eagle does not truly prove his memory. So then, he is believing something that is not true. To summarize the difference, a type 1 error happens when we reject the true null hypothesis, which leads to a false positive result.
Meanwhile, a type 2 error happens when we fail to reject a false null hypothesis, which leads to a false negative result. Both of types of errors are important to understand because they affect the accuracy and reliability of our research results.
And lastly, in conclusion, type 1 and type 2 error are possibly mistaken that can occur during hypothesis testing. A type 1 error happens when a true null hypothesis is rejected, while a type 2 error happens when a false null hypothesis is not rejected.
Understanding these errors help researchers design better studies and make more accurate